call this special meeting to order. Motion to go into executive session, please.
Madam Chair, I move that we go into executive session on the contractual matter, the disclosure of this time which might be detrimental to the town and or individuals involved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session on a contractual matter, the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town and or individuals involved. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And might I add that we bring in the treasurer as well?
And Mr. Rasmussen.
Right.
Okay, we went into executive session at 6:01. We are coming out at 6:44. No action taken. Motion to adjourn that meeting, and we'll start.
So moved.
Second. Move to and seconded to adjourn our special meeting. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Now I call the regular select board meeting for Monday, September 16th to order. Welcome to everyone. Can we please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I don't have any
Katrina.
prepared remarks today.
Do you
It's been a busy
They
week.
were made.
Except for to say that our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to all of the victims and the families of the Washington, D.C. Naval Yard tragedy that happened today, and we will keep them in our prayers. All right, so let's start with approval of minutes, please. We don't have any additions to the agenda, right?
It's okay?
Yeah.
I move that we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of September 3rd as written. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. David, you're up.
Now, just so everybody's aware, for markings Inc., it would be B, if you're comparing apples to apples. And I will recommend going with Boyer. They've done it for the last 2 years, and they come in at night, do the line.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I move that we would put the bid to Boyer guidelines. For the yellow line, $4,468.96, and the white for $3,312.16.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the bid from Poirier Guidelines for yellow lines, $4,468.96, white lines, $3,312.16. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You made the second? Janet, thank you.
That's it.
Well, thank you.
That was
That was short and sweet, huh? Okay, treasurer's report. Come on up, Sally.
Tim Fogg was asked to be here at 7:40, so
Wow.
that's the time that he will come.
Okay.
We can move on to bills and warrants.
Yeah.
We're just so much faster than we thought we were.
I made an error on the agenda. I went from 6:40 to 7:40 instead of, yeah, I gave you an hour's break.
Next hour on.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
want to move some new business.
Yeah, well, I just thought maybe you thought we were gonna go paint the lines for David.
You weren't? I have the paintbrushes out in the car.
Well, we can do bills and warrants, we can do the rest of your stuff. And then that way, after Tim's done, you don't have to hang around here. Okay?
Wonderful.
So why don't we do that? Have a motion, Sandy, for the warrants, please?
Okay, Madam Chair, I move that you approve the following bills and warrants. Number 6 SG, accounts payable for $85,702.57. Number 36S, payroll for $12,468.84. And number 37S, payroll for $13,309.21.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve and pay warrants 6SG for accounts payable of $87,702.57. 36S payroll for $12,468.84, and 37S payroll for $13,309.21. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. I think we're going to go into executive session on the insurance, because I think we're going to be talking about personnel.
Contractual, anyway.
Madam Chair?
Ms. Harris?
I move to go into executive session with our treasurer on personnel issues, the matter which might be detrimental to the town and or individuals involved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session with our treasurer, Sally.
Would it be
Pers-
personnel or would it be
It's
contractual?
contractual, it's not personnel. Even though we will be talking about personnel, it is contractual because it is the
Or
insurance.
both?
I think it's both.
I think it's,
I
I
think it's
mean, you're talking
I
about
would-
the health
I would-
insurance contract,
yes.
but you're also
You're
talking about
a-
personnel, so.
Yeah, I was questioning that myself.
Okay. For a personnel and contractual matter, the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town and or individuals involved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Katrina can shut the door on her way out.
Janet, how tall are you?
Mean looks on their face.
Like I care.
Me too.
I'm gonna cry. Can you tell? I'm upset now.
Oh.
You protect me.
Okay,
You
we're
did
going
that
to
right.
Sandy come back.
Yeah, only thing.
You know what, we can make it before Sandy comes back.
Yeah.
Went into executive session at 6:50 on a personnel contractual matter, coming out at 7:45. No action taken. Ms. Howe?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion a motion to go with option 1 at the 85% rate for the, with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
That's the Blue
At
Cross
platinum
plan.
standard, I guess it is, for their health, continue the health insurance plan for the town employees.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to go with the Blue Cross Blue Shield Platinum Standard Plan for $231,001.64, with people knowing that this will be changed as we look at the future budget in March. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Fogg, welcome.
Hello,
Thank you for coming tonight.
pleasure to be here.
Sally and Tim, come on up and join us. Do we go back into executive session?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the auditors probably should be under this. Do you think so, Tim?
Sure. We'll find out
Thank you.
And what would be that reason for that, the auditors being in?
Well, because some of the information in here is not intended for public distribution. In one of our reports,
No, I mean, not executive session, why would we have the auditors in? I understand the treasurer, but the
that's
auditors.
not my,
There is a mention in here.
yes, there is in our comments that because you are one of the few towns in the area that have town auditors that really do a fair amount of work, because most small towns don't have that luxury. Some of the comments are kind of pointing to have them do perhaps a little bit more work to help improve internal controls that are within town. So whether they're involved in the discussion or not, it's just that we're making this comment that you ought to utilize some of their services, I think. So.
It's up to you.
Not me.
Well, you guys.
I make a motion to go into executive session with Mr. Fogg and the treasurer to contract matter, the disclosure of misconduct detrimental to the town and individuals involved, and that we call the auditors in as we need to.
Second.
Moved and seconded to go into executive session with Mr. Fogg and the town treasurer on a contractual matter, the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town, and we will call the auditors in as needed. All those in favor?
The word detrimental is if you, on one of our reports here, it's on our report on internal control, it says, this report is intended solely for the information and use by the select board, management, and others within the town, and is not intended to be and should not be used by anyone other than those specified parties. It's not that it's going to be detrimental, it's just there are things that a lot of people don't understand and misconstrue. So if they hear certain things, if you're not knowledgeable about accounting and internal controls, you may misconstrue that statement or whatever it is. And it's just, that's why these are kind of restricted use to just to management, which is the board, and other interested parties, which would be the auditors and the treasurer. So that's what they're intended to do. The financial statements themselves are public. Those can be distributed to everybody and whoever you want. But
So when we get to the auditor's part of this, then we'll call them in?
The whole thing is the auditor's part. I object to not being able to be here because as a town auditor, because we audit Sally's books and we want to know what Tim has found.
I don't either. I was just asking a simple
I mean,
question.
we've asked, the townspeople have asked to have an outside auditor come in and look at the books for that year. We want to know what he's recommending to us. And if he's telling you, and we're not hearing it from him, I don't feel that's right.
To me, it's up to Sally and Tim. I mean, you guys know what's in the report, and I don't.
Yeah, I don't
it's
either.
really not up to me. I mean, it's just, I'm one of your contractors.
You just caught in the middle.
I really am caught in the middle here.
And I only simply asked a simple question.
Yeah.
Your questions.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, essentially, you feel the whole presentation?
I
have no problem with the auditor sitting. and,
Neither do I.
And I don't think it would hurt for them to be here, if you want my personal opinion.
So moved.
Okay, same motion with the auditors. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Hang on a
should
second.
give these to the auditors.
Yeah, you have to wait a minute until we get into executive session, please.
Sorry.
Okay, we went into executive session at 7:52, came out at 8:40, no action taken. On to new business. We're going to skip over, if I can have a motion to, well, I don't need a motion. We're going to take the planning commission next. And
So
the stuff
everybody has
that we
to
can
get
do
it.
without everybody here, we'll do
Then
without
you can
everybody
sell
here.
Sally home then.
Sally, you're all set. We can make the motion and do all that without you. Thank you. It's late.
Okay.
It'll be made, Sally, so you can,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, planning commission, welcome. We're sitting in different seats than we usually are when I see you.
Why don't you go ahead and do the reminders?
Okay.
Come on up, please. All of you can come on up. Oh, how you feeling?
Well, you know how these colds are. You feel good sometimes, and sometimes you
And then as you get older, it takes a longer time to shake them.
Okay, we're here to talk to the board about applying for a municipal planning grant from the state to continue work on our town plan, which has now taken another zig with the announcement of the closure of the Vermont Yankee facility. And so basically, all we want to do is ask for a resolution so that we can apply for this if you agree. And also, would be an appropriation of a local match of $3,500.
Oh, we just let Sally go.
And just to refresh your memories,
Can you call
in 2011, we applied for a municipal planning grant and were awarded it to work on, we called it post-VY planning. And Wyndham Regional Commission was hired with the planning grant money. And they wrote a document that's called the resiliency plan, which we incorporated into our town plan. We thought we were done with the town plan. In fact, we were close to sending it to your board to go into the public hearing. And then at our meeting last Thursday, the 9th of September, we decided we really need to bring the plan up to date, even though it's going to take another month or so. So we actually voted. There was a vote, and I'll read it to you, that the Vernon Planning Commission unanimously authorized Bob Spencer, that's me, to approach the select board for money to match and to enter a contractual agreement, and if you agree, to write the grant application. So I'm here to do that tonight, and I have the support of my other members, including Mr. Dunkley.
I was sitting here going, there's only 4 of them there. Who's missing? Oh, Jeff.
Well, we lost Mikey.
That's right.
Mikey moved across the line. Although I did hear that technically you can be on a planning commission even if you don't live in the town. Nope, anyone can be on. I checked with Wyndham Regional Commission on that. So if Mikey wants, Mikey, listen. She's not watching in Northfield, I don't think.
I don't think she gets us on her accent.
So,
Is she gone?
No, she'll be right down.
Okay, I just want to ask her where we can get that $3,000
this is
from.
the form. Unfortunately, I tried to enter it. It's called IntelliGrant. It's the state's electronic grant, and it wouldn't let me enter the new select board names. It kept putting Mike Ball and Mike Quartermash in because they were the original signers. So if you look at page 2, Patty,
I've been elevated to CEO.
You are.
That's what I said. I've been elevated to CEO.
Wow.
Aren't you chair of the select?
Do I get the salary that goes along with the CEO, or?
You better ask your colleagues. But anyway, so what we would need is, and I can talk about the grant, is for the entire board to sign this tonight, since you're not meeting again and it's due September 30th. It would be we'd get $15,000 from the state, and the town would put $3,500. And I asked Sally before she left.
I just asked them to go get her.
But I believe that the last municipal planning grant, which you authorized $3,500, we never had to use that because the grant didn't cost the full $18,500. So I believe that money was never expended towards it. So, but Sally thinks you probably need to reauthorize
Yeah,
it.
wouldn't still be sitting there.
Yeah, you would, because that money, the year's closed.
Right.
But
Right.
if you're looking for a place, there really isn't a place. So I would tell you that because you have no true description on your emergency line, you know, you can deem that something that you want to do if it's going to, you know, it's future of the town is involved.
Especially with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
It is pretty much
So
an
I think
emergency.
that's something that you could look at. I know that we took some money for the town plan from the professional services fund, which we didn't really agree with as auditors or myself, but you've done it, and you could probably, if you did it once, you could do it again, but I
It's
think,
dealing with utilities now.
yeah, so you could do
The
that.
language is pretty clear about it, too.
So either place, I think you'd be okay.
So the resolution is what the state requires that you vote on.
Thanks, Sally.
Okay.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Sally. Good
I
night.
got
But it could be a
several
case,
copies
could
here.
be similar as before, where you don't even use the money that the town put up, or we have to.
If we spend over 8,000, then it starts to trigger the local match. We're gonna apply for the full amount,
Mhm.
and then, we have not nailed down the scope of work. We just had one meeting on this, but it's basically to look at more details around the closure in terms of our land use, future land use activities, real estate impacts, employment, obviously. It's not an economic study, it's a planning study. So what does this mean to Vernon in terms of,
Katrina.
there's a lot of things we can look at, but we were thinking of
Do
hiring an
town
outside
report.
firm, not.
Not Wyndham Regional.
Wyndham Regional, and we were in agreement on that, right?
Amen.
And,
Never mind.
And maybe learn more, go into a little more detail on some of these other facility closures, other than Wiscasset and Rowe. So.
Right.
We don't truly know what we want to do, but we have a meeting on,
But there's a time frame.
Yeah, let's do the 30th.
To move forward.
and we have our meeting on September 23rd, right, Gail? We're having a special workshop meeting.
Yeah, next Monday.
Yes.
Yes, to work on this, and Jeff will be there. So I actually would like to suggest that Jeff be the primary municipal official, because he's on the planning.
And he's the liaison.
And the liaison.
Right. And that would
And
make
then
sense.
I would be the administrator, instead of hiring Wyndham Regional, and they charge a 10% administrative fee, I'll take care of and I can work with Sally on the
Mhm.
administrative work.
Give us a discount.
And I'll give you a discount. So that's where we're at.
I think the money should come from the professional fund instead of using our emergency
The
line.
professional fund, though, is pretty clearly marked now for utility issues. That's the concern about taking it out of the professional services fund. At one time, the professional services fund didn't have language.
That's why I was
that
asking
is-
for the town report, so.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I don't have my town report.
No, I asked
here,
Katrina
but-
if she had one. and-
And I can't remember when that was done. I want to say it was,
When it was established, it was for the utilities,
Right, but
but it has been used by the planning commission. When we questioned it, the attorney said that he felt it was okay because it had to do with energy.
oh,
does that make sense?
that's why I was looking for the town report, but
But Sally said that you guys didn't agree that that was all right.
no, that was before.
We didn't agree with that, but they still did it.
And the attorney said that it was reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where you can make that argument, but how much money is left in the emergency fund?
I don't know, that's the thing. We've hit it 2 or 3 times.
There's the budget, but I don't know.
But we don't know what we
But I
spent.
don't know when
But
this
it
was
does,
run.
there's no actuaries, is there?
No. No.
We just paid for the water meter out of it, too.
That's
Yeah, you
right,
did.
$5,000, so, I mean, we can go ahead and hit it again, but then what if we really have another emergency, then what are we gonna do? I mean, we can sit here and argue about whether it's utilities or not to be used in utilities or whatever, but if we've hit it before with the planning commission, then I think that we need to do that now and save our emergency for an emergency.
Carol?
The reason we objected to it was because I don't think it was for working on the town plan. It wasn't, I don't think it had anything to do with Yankee at that time.
Oh.
And that's why we.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, that's where the resiliency plan, the post-VY resiliency plan
It was before
was.
that, though.
It was a few years ago
Yeah.
when Mike Ball was on the board.
Right.
We discussed it with him, and he felt that it fell into being
But-
able to be used for it.
But
And
this
he
really
thought-
does this time, so,
This time it does.
yeah,
Okay, then
It
let's.
did eventually become the resiliency. plan,
right,
Right.
yeah.
But you were right. it was
So,
changed in-
That would be my recommendation.
All right, no, if,
Motion to approve and sign the resolution, the planning commission taking the money from the professional services fund since it has impact.
Second.
did you make that whole motion?
Yeah, I did.
It's been moved and seconded, now I'm gonna take a hit at it, to sign the, approve and sign the resolution to allow the planning committee to apply for a grant for, from the Department of Economic Housing and Community Development. You said all that,
You
right?
did really good.
And
Match that for the
approve
3,500.
taking $3,500 out of the professional services fund. Isn't that what you said?
That's exactly what she said, and I seconded
All
it.
those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And then if members who voted could sign that, that would be great.
Already on its way.
Good. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And
Thank
we'll
you for,
continue.
I
Thank
feel
you.
bad you guys put so much
Thank
hard
you so
work
much.
into that plan, and then
Well, it's,
it all changed in a day.
in a way, we felt it's better than, 6 months from now and have an outdated plan.
Art is no chance to any advance.
That's right. I think frankly, we're going to finalize the plan before we complete this work.
Makes sense.
Because as you know, it's to our advantage to have a finalized and approved plan.
If you need to print her name, we can take that in.
We'll type it in.
Now,
It's online, it's a strange,
we do have quite a few things in the works. I think it probably would be important for me to stay in contact with the planning committee,
if you could
to
come on
let
the
you know how
23rd.
things are progressing, because they're gonna be
Thank
quick
you.
conversations. We're dealing with stuff with trying to figure out exactly how many employees are involved, how we're going to get the employees that are truly losing their jobs, new jobs, and we're also trying to work on what we're gonna do about the housing market and trying to get, and I told you guys some of this stuff the other night, but, there are a lot of things in the works right now, so I think it's important that we stay connected with the planning committee. So
Well,
it'll be
if
okay.
you have specific ideas how this particular grant could help, we'll have $18,500 to put towards the effort.
I think the best way it could help is to help us with economic development. Because if we can find a way, we're not gonna replace completely Yankees tax dollars, but if we can find a way to minimize it and get people working, that's gonna save the value of all of our homes and help with the tax rate in the town.
They're to attract small businesses because there will be available labor pool of skilled individuals that perhaps small businesses would find that attractive.
If we can get that,
So, for
Yes,
instance,
Steve?
almost like a small incubator of businesses that would work off the skill sets that the employees have.
PSB would be a perfect place for it.
There's gotta be some models for this out there.
There's not a plant that's gone into Safe Store yet. That's what makes the difference, is the Safe Store. If it was going to be deconned and only have the dry cast storage, then you only have to protect that small area. But if it goes into Safe Store, which, everybody can pontificate as much as they want about whether or not Vermont Yankees should go into a Safe Store, it's a federal law. And we all know what happens when the state of Vermont passes laws that steps on the federal law's toes. We end up in court and we lose. So, we can use our tax dollars and spend it that way and keep trying to beat up on a company that was wonderfully good to the state of Vermont and paid millions of dollars in taxes, or we can just follow the Constitution that we're all sworn to uphold. How'd you like that lecture? Wonder who that was meant for. So, it's gonna make a difference, and I don't think we're kidding ourselves in thinking anything other than it's going into safe stores, so that's what we have to
Well,
work
we can
with.
write this in a general way and then sort of, as we get further into it.
And we should know about in like a few weeks.
Right.
I would say by the time you guys even get the grant, we'll
Okay.
have a better idea as to what the future's gonna be in this town.
The grant really doesn't start till next year, and you have 18 months to complete it, so this goes into 2015.
So we will definitely know what our future is
Okay.
bringing by the time,
It might be to our advantage to kind of wait.
yeah.
Okay. Thank
We've
you.
got a couple of housekeeping items. I think everybody knows that, or maybe you don't, that the information has been disseminated that on the 30th of September, a representative from VTEL is coming down to talk about the tower. And we're gonna do that as a public meeting, so.
On the 30th?
On the
Because
30th.
I have asked, I did come in at the tail end of that discussion the other night, so I really didn't know what you're talking about, but I have had people call me, and I know, it's been a long night, and ask me about when the meeting was gonna be, so.
So we're gonna post it, you know, our secretary will take care of posting that, but I just thought for the record, just so that you guys would know and you can disseminate the information any way you want.
What
Okay,
time
so-
would it be, Dale? I'm sorry.
Here?
6:30?
In the select board office, or?
Well,
Probably
I think
out
you
Out
might-
there,
I think
yeah,
you
it's
might
a
need
bigger room.
the crowd that gathers, let's put it that way.
Okay. Yeah, and if it's a small, you know, loving group, you can just come in here because there's enough seats. But I have a feeling there's going to be, from the phone calls I'm getting, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people here.
What do you call that room? Do you have a certain name for the room? Just so I
No,
get it.
we just,
Just a
we
community
used to use
room?
it as a community room,
Yeah,
you
it's a
know.
community room.
I mean, basically, we're just gonna say it's at the town office, you know, and then we'll just see.
People will figure it out when they see the crowd.
Who gathers and who
Right.
doesn't. Our secretary, I asked how we're gonna get this information out, and the secretary said, why don't we just put up a 90-foot sign and then everybody will know about it.
Unless they don't have time.
Oh.
So,
All those on Pond Road, well,
yeah. You probably can guess where the humor came from, but anyway, moving on to the next item. We have a personnel issue that we'd like to discuss, and it's just a discussion.
if it's
It's
personnel, we
gonna
need
be
to
the
go into
board.
executive session. Okay. Motion, please?
I make a motion to go into executive session with the whole planning commission on a personnel matter of disclosure of this kind which might be detrimental to the town and or individuals involved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session with the planning commission on a personnel issue, the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town and or individuals involved. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
See you guys.
Who
Sorry.
seconded the motion?
Jeff?
Jeff?
We don't have a meeting for the 23rd scheduled, do we?
Yeah, I thought we did. We were gonna go for the,
Sandy thinks so too.
yeah, I thought we were, it was for, oh, man, what was it for?
We did that tonight.
You did that one.
Yeah.
This is a democracy here.
All right, we went into executive session at 9:10. It is 9:37, no action taken. I would like to commend the planning commission for the hard work that they've put into to the town plan, and the hard work, unfortunately, they're going to continue to put in because of the change in our world. They were just about done, the town plan, and now they have to make some changes, but they've worked really, really hard and done a great job, so I'd like to thank them. Okay, time clocks. I didn't get to David because my world's been
Can
crazy.
I suggest that we nix the idea of trying to find the old ones, because they were problem before? Why are we thinking they will not be problem
I was
now?
just say the same
Oh,
thing. I was
good.
told that they were nothing but a problem, so why don't we just, now what we have to decide is, do we get 2 time clocks? One at the town
Has to be.
garage and one in the town office? Or make
Absolutely.
the people from the town garage come punch in
No.
every time, which would be crazy.
Yeah.
Nope,
No.
no.
Have one as a town garage.
I think they had 40 at one time.
Yeah, but we don't think that they work.
They didn't work before, from what I understand. There was problems, and I was, when they first initiated those time clocks, I was still town treasurer. I got done in 1995. So, that's how old they are.
Dinosaurs were still roaming the earth.
Stop it. But, you know what I mean? So, I just say, she tries to get back at me, you know, sometimes. It doesn't work.
All right.
Well, see, I got you anyway. It's the bantering. People always ask me about it. But who would we put in charge of that? Would we put Mike Coughlin in charge of looking for that, or one of us?
I would say buildings, it would go under buildings.
then,
Yeah.
It's not that difficult to find two title
and I
lots
can
and
work with
purchase them.
Mike then, because I'm the town liaison, so.
Cool.
All right, I'll work with Mike then, I'll get with him, making a thing for
Okay.
maybe next week. All right, yeah, and we'll get new ones.
Okay, let's go to the FOIA project.
Yeah, Mike called today, and they need doors. Now, I'm not really right up onto it, but they need the doors in, and it wasn't a part of the, when they put that request in, whatever. It's within the bid, it's just that they need a fast check.
Okay.
And so, or whatever you call them, quick check, whatever.
They didn't get into the warrants in time.
Oh, okay.
Right, they didn't get into the warrants in time.
They didn't get into the warrants in time or whatever. The money's there, it's within the bid thing, it's just that they need a quick check. So, I so move that.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded to ask Sandy to do a fast check.
Sally.
I mean Sally.
Thank you very much.
To do a fast check to pay for the architectural door sales at Chemical Supply of Boston for the doors for the FOIA project. And the price is not to exceed $5,000. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you.
I just found all those papers.
And I want to say, I have to really put, a nice pat on the back to Mike Coughlin. He calls me about everything. He keeps me well informed. I know he gets a little, he doesn't want to bother me because of how I feel, but I am getting better. And I certainly like hearing from him, and I appreciate.
Oh, that's great.
I appreciate
So he gives
him
you
doing
regular
that.
progress updates?
He
That's
does.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the FOIA project is, I mean, it's looking great. It's
Yep.
looking great. Oh, and Matt also, not
There's
this.
a possibility of a little bit of a delay. The doors are gonna hold the contractor up because they're not here. Apparently, he was not in charge of purchasing the doors, it was a separate thing. And they didn't get ordered quick enough, so I believe he's gonna have to pull off before the doors.
Well, that's the point of the fast check. They need it to get
Well,
that.
yeah, the doors are coming COD, so the
Right.
company won't bring them without the check, but they're still
Right.
not gonna be here in time for the contractor.
Yep.
Just a heads up, FYI sort of thing. So, he's not leaving us high and dry, he's just gonna run out of.
Still gonna get it done before
Snowflies.
snow.
Including the doors?
What's this side?
Well, that's not what
The goal,
I've been told, but,
That all should be, well, this happened just today, I'm not sure. when
yeah, I don't know.
things were, but, yeah.
All right, on Word, salary personnel to hourly personnel. Now, this is one of the things that we were thinking about for the budget, is to take all salary personnel and put them into hourly personnel, and they will all have to punch in and punch out.
Yeah. And I think that there'd be no payment of overtime as long as, because whatever hours they work, they're gonna get, I mean, we have a budget line item. Like, say, if we've given them 35,000 and they're salary personnel and they get 35,000, nothing's gonna change. They're still gonna get only 35,000, and they have to work within that.
Right, and nobody's to work overtime.
Nobody's to work overtime.
Okay, so that needs to be understood, that just because you're being switched to hourly from salary does not mean that you get paid overtime.
That's right, because you
Don't
can.
work overtime.
No.
You know,
Right.
it's not a matter, I mean, obviously, if people worked overtime, we'd have to pay them, but nobody's working overtime.
What about
That's it.
the highway crew in the middle of the winter, or the police department in case of any event?
We're talking about the office management and stuff like that.
Well,
You know,
I think
obviously.
that even, even at that, that's something we need to look at. I mean, not against any department or anything like that, but we have to watch that, right,
Situation.
Right.
Require more time.
right.
There
But
is, but other
Not
towns
necessarily.
coordinate their work, like if you know that there's gonna be a snowstorm starting at midnight, you don't come in.
Yeah,
that
don't come
day
in during the day.
Until the snow starts, if it starts early, or midnight, and then you work, plowing, and we're gonna have to control budgets that way.
That's like it, whoops, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, go ahead.
Regular personnel, if they worked, one day I worked 10 and a half hours, well, then I'm gonna come in a half an hour late or go home a half an hour early the next day. But we have to work like that, because this is to, for the townspeople. We can't just, because then it's not gonna look on the board. They're not gonna look at the board, because the board's trying to control that. It's gonna be looked on them. You know what I'm saying? If you don't control how you manage that little bit of money that you've been given as a salary, that's coming down on you, not us. And we need to tell them, you take the time off or whatever to compensate for that.
Does every salaried employee know how many hours that salary is based on?
40 hours.
Okay.
40 hours.
I just wanted to make
I
sure
mean,
that was...
it used to be with the town clerk years ago, now I'm not talking about Sandy. Before, we'd base Betty Underwood's on 44 hours.
Okay.
Because she would work Saturdays, so we gave her 44 hours.
Okay.
So hers was based on 44 hours. That was always worked in the budget, and so, now, with the highway crew now, they are not only given their regular 40 hours, Sally also does an average of what they, for their overtime, because, you can't always predict that, so that's also worked in their budget.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
So that we need to think about how we're gonna do that when we go into the budget season, because that is gonna be part of the budget. So we're gonna be putting in amounts to reflect hours.
Right, and it's nothing personal.
Nope.
Good
It's
Lord.
just way of controlling budget. We just have to control the budget.
We have to.
Matt and Mary Lynn, do you have something?
Would like Matt to be appointed to the finance committee.
Huh.
All right.
Are you sure?
I'm sorry, I wouldn't have made you, I thought you guys were just coming to see the select board meeting because you hang out sometimes.
Are you absolutely sure?
Madam Chair, make a motion to appoint Matt Cruz to finance.
I happily seconded
Seconded to appoint Matt Cruz to the finance committee. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. No. I said aye first. I'm kidding.
We'll have some conversations about the capital plan this year before budget time starts. I don't know how much work you've done yet.
We haven't, but we need to get started.
Yeah.
I don't know what we've got, I haven't really looked at it yet either, so.
Should we consider asking the public for people to maybe volunteer for a investment committee?
I don't think that's a bad idea. You need to have people who really understand investments, and there's not that many in town. The only one that's coming to my mind is Bruce.
Maybe targeted.
Well, maybe we could, maybe we could ask
Recruiting.
Bruce, maybe we could ask Bruce and then kind of appoint him if he would like to take that on. Maybe he would know people that could help and.
Train them.
Or could train them,
Or
yeah.
we know people who have finance backgrounds in
Right.
town, and that's not a bad idea. And then ask Bruce to lead it up, because his knowledge is just so valuable to this town.
Yeah. I mean, if he feels like it, I don't want to overwork him.
I think it would be good for him. I think it would be good for him. He loves it. It'd be something to keep him busy.
And if he could need to find another couple of people. If you guys could help him make some recommendations, I think, as to other people who he might work with, because we just don't know that many people in
Yeah,
town, so.
definitely.
My mind's completely going blank on people who have finance backgrounds, but I know we have
It's all right, you
them
don't
in
have to
town.
do it right now, so.
You just started questions of bank people. I mean, you're in Rotary, right?
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, but nobody from Vernon serves on Rotary with me that's a banker.
Oh, Matt.
Well, Matt's pretty good.
Matt's pretty good.
And that's very good.
Matt's very good.
But do
You
we
wanna be
really
on two
want him?
committees, Matt?
I would be willing to meet with Bruce. I mean, I don't have the type of knowledge he has.
Yes,
Who
but
knows?
you,
That's a legend.
you know what, I mean, you
Only
remember
as-
I find
when,
it fascinating.
when we were working with that woman, I mean, you were right there with questions that really impressed
Well,
me, and
numbers
I,
make me tick. I mean,
Yeah.
People that know me know numbers make me tick.
Yeah, me too, or they used
Good or
to.
bad.
They used to me, but not much anymore. Really,
Okay.
nothing really matters anymore.
Somebody served on appropriations for 12 years.
Well, I don't think it should be any of us.
Well, Matt, thank you very much for coming forward, and we
Yes,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
And we really are sorry we
And I
made you wait.
apologize, I just, you come here so often, Mary Lynn. I don't know. I had nothing to do on a Monday night, so you came to visit,
Okay, our next meeting is,
Oh, also too, on our next meeting, we're going to meet with the school board.
Oh, great.
That's on the 30th?
no, that's on October 7th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go that long? We need to start budgets.
Well, we can start meeting whenever you guys want to start meeting, but now we have to go to the meeting on September
That's
30th,
third
that's
week.
next week.
23rd.
No, it's 23rd next week. That's 2 weeks, it's
I have been a week
30th.
ahead of myself all of September.
Who's attending the one on the 23rd?
Nobody.
I am.
Okay, I heard we, and I didn't know if that
The
meant.
23rd for
that
what?
three.
That's the one about the VTEL,
Yeah, I'm going to try to go too.
for the planning commission. that
Oh,
they
yes,
said.
that's right. Oh, that's the 30th, that's not the
We
23rd.
probably have to warn
The
that.
VTEL is the 30th.
It's
That's
the
why.
30th, not the
Yes, the
23rd.
Planning was gonna meet on
No,
the
it's 23rd.
No, the
It's the
23rd
30th.
is
Oh, it's the
their
23rd is the planning
planning,
commitment. Sorry,
work
okay.
for their
Yeah.
municipal grant.
Right.
Okay.
For the municipal grant.
Yeah.
The detail meeting is
the
a public
30th.
meeting, and that's on the 30th at 6:30.
So you'd be attending the meeting, but there wouldn't be minutes taken at that meeting.
We're not part of the meeting, we're just.
So you're just
attending.
attending. I will warn that then.
Yeah, we have
I
enough
think
on our
it would, 3 of them's gonna be there. I think I would just say that 3 select.
not going to be there.
No. Okay. But on the public meeting,
Well,
I
Jeff's
think
gonna
we
be
are.
there, he's on the planning committee, so if you and I go, and I'm sure
Yep.
Janet might wanna go if she's around.
We're
I
still
would warn
talking
them.
VTEL, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
on the 30th.
for the 30th, yeah, I got the other information there.
Yeah, and you would, yeah, because if there's gonna be 3 of us, I would just warn it, period, no matter what.
Okay, now, I need one more very quick executive session, just to update you on conversations that I've had. Contractual.
Madam Chair.
I have a headache.
A short executive committee. A contractual matters, the disclosure of establishment of detrimental to the town and individuals involved.
Second.
We moved in second to go into a very short executive session meeting on a contractual matter, the disclosure of which could be detrimental to the town. All those in favor, please
Did you
signify by
miss
saying
that?
aye.
Aye.
Or did I miss that?
That was taken care of, we were explained, that
Okay.
it's gone down, gone back.
Okay, we went into executive session at 9:50, came out at 10:07, no action taken. All of those, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Good night.
It's been moved and seconded to, is that a second? Good night?
Yes.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. But do.
Thank you, I know this has been a very grueling meeting, but we had an awful lot to take care of, so I really appreciate your patience.
Yeah, I met with the banks,